Hello and welcome back, viewers on ah, oop, there we go. Viewers on Twitch and YouTube. This is Northstar. I hope you're well, taking care of each other, and being kind to yourselves. Those new to my channel, welcome. Returning viewers, welcome back. New viewers on Twitch, you should know I'm also on YouTube, and I guess YouTube folks for this channel should also know that I have all my series organized into playlists from oldest to newest, except for my Northstar Talks Politics series. Check it out. Video on demand is only available 7 days back, and some things, because they need to be edited, are not up at all. I end up deleting them on Twitch. There's some quality control there, I suppose. Occasionally, very sporadically. And other reasons. But anyways, I don't know, maybe just not mood, feeling uh, never mind. Anyways, so if you want to watch my many other games that I've done videos of, over 1,000, you can check it out on YouTube. Uh, Huge amount of material I've put out. Literally over 1,000 videos. As I said, still struggling to build my channel. It's growing over time, and not all of this can be watched because there's a buffer into, for some series, 2027, early 2027. But a large number, hundreds of videos are live, and yet my channel is still has fewer subscribers than videos, which is sad. I'm really trying, but YouTube algorithm just doesn't give me that many viewers on my videos, so it's hit or miss. Some get subscribers, others don't. Um, I'm disabled long COVID. Probably doesn't affect the quality of my work the most. I'm trying to learn as I go along, though. Get better and better and better. I need my YouTube and Twitch to eventually earn money to hopefully at least supplement SSI. If I can get that, which the government is trying to screw me out of, even though I can barely function. In fact, I had to lay down for quite a while between the last video, which would be cut into pieces, but still, I guess the last video on YouTube, and that'd be the last segment, that last recording, and this one. I had to lie down and rest because I was just so exhausted, unable to function. Now, yeah, it's late, but much of the earlier part of the day, I can't even function at all. I require quite a bit of coffee, quite a bit of food, quite a bit of sugar often, and quite a lot of rest before I can start functioning at all during the day. Way more a normal person. And then I get loopy, extremely loopy, like I am right now, barely able to function fairly quickly. There's no way I can work like this. But Social Security Administration initially did a technical denial based on missing piece of paperwork, then the reconsideration, where they denied 86% of reconsiderations. They've denied claiming based on your age and experience. So they're using the grid rule, which Trump is actually getting rid of. But the Trump administration is trying to get rid of anyways. But the grid rule, then based on your age experience, we do not believe, or sorry, we based on your age, not based on age experience, we believe that you'd be able to adapt to other work, even if you can't return to your original work, which is a lot of nonsense based on how impaired I am. They're just automatically assuming that because I'm highly educated, relatively young, that's a load of crap. Now the grid rules will be probably gone, but that'll just probably mean that they'll tell older people they can adapt to, not be less ridiculous with it. Automatically insist on people. It's purely magical thinking. My age does not make me able to adapt just because they want it to be so. The fact of the matter is, with these kind of impairments, nobody of any age can work. So I have to take the administrative law judge. Like I said, they reject 86% consideration. So they're just routinely not reasonable with these things. And then people take the ALJ, and the ALJ hearings, more than half of people win, which should tell you they're just being malicious. If they lose more often, they win at the next step, which is unusual for any reasonable kind of appeal process. Usually, it'd be a long shot to win in appeals of anything. That should tell you that the original step that they're just trying to discourage people and waste their time, and in some cases, hope they'll die before they get disability. Either through homelessness or, I mean, some diseases shorten the lifespan. Long COVID actually does, though the odds of dying each year are only like 1%. So, um, yeah, I could drop dead of a heart attack before I get disability, but it's unlikely. Of course, age-adjusted mortality is a lot lower normally. It's like an extra 1% chance of dying a year when I think it's like at my age like 0.2 or something ridiculously low normally, 0.1. So at least it's like 11 or so times the chance of death that I would normally have at my age. And most deaths of young people are like deaths due to violence and stuff. They're not deaths due to health conditions. But yeah, long COVID sucks. The government's putting very, very little effort into developing a cure. In fact, they're cutting research budgets and actually have some projects that were supposed to be working towards cure had to cancel before they could really get hardly any progress because the research cuts to the NIH. Uh, so whereas I was on the path towards becoming a physician, was in a special master's program with straight A's, doing a prestigious research internship, would have definitely gone to be a doctor, at least an overseas med school. I My program had said after I'd probably get into U.S. med schools, but it wouldn't hurt to. I didn't need to use Caribbean med schools as safety. That was being a little too cautious, given let's see, New Guinea doesn't have an enormous population. I might be able to wipe that out too before you start the plague. Um, I mean, you don't have to apply to places 100% chance to get in as safeties. It's just reasonable enough that if you apply enough of them. Anyway, suggest I apply to Australia and Ireland, which are always slightly easier to get into U.S. med schools, but the credentials I had to probably get into U.S. med schools. And she knew one program head, sorry, said that knew that I wanted to get out of the country with what was happening in politics. I was worried that, well, someone like Trump would be back, and I was correct about that. I've always been very far-sighted with politics that people hate to admit. They always want to say, oh, you're wrong about this, and then facts prove me right, and then no one's like, oh, well, I guess you're wiser than I thought, which even though I've consistently been right about things that have happened and will happen politically, good predicting the trends. Anyways, not just predicting the trends, but seeing things that people would rather not see about the world. Um, could maybe create a layer in Africa just so it can spread the virus quicker. I have tons of DNA here. It's not really worth, well, you know what? It might produce just a little DNA if I'd want it. Also, it increases the virus's ability to adapt that way. Hot countries. Uh, East Africa. Let's finish off New Guinea. Um, yeah, I mean, I had a master's degree already. Had a very good MCAT score before I started special masters, and I took them again during it, got an even higher MCAT score. getting straight A's in special masters. Prestigious research was also throwing another master's, was getting straight A's in that. I was going, my professors who also taught med students were acknowledging I was brilliant, like literally saying it in some cases, which is unprecedented for me, but I never worked so hard before. It's not enough just to be smart for people to realize that you got to be very, very smart and work very, very hard. And I was doing both. Um, I was definitely going to make it to be a physician. Maybe not the type that I wanted to be, you know. I'm trying to be humble. I wanted to be a heart surgeon. Maybe I would have only made to be a primary care provider, which is a lot less competitive, or just a general surgeon, which I would have been happy as a general surgeon, not happy as a PCP. I very much wanted to be a surgeon. But general surgeon is the generally least competitive type of surgery to get into. That and there were trauma among the least competitive surgery type. So trauma is hard to do, but because the terrible working hours and such, people don't want to do it. General is considered easier than trauma, and it's just less competitive, and the pay is the lowest of all the surgery types, if I remember. Maybe it's down there with trauma. Anyways, yeah, trauma isn't paid well. The hours suck. You have to be on call for like gunshot wounds and all that. You deal with a lot more violent people. And that was something I actually would have liked to do, would have been happy doing as well. Heart surgery pays better and makes some really substantial differences in people's lives, but I wanted to maybe do some Doctors Without Borders at some point. Heart surgery, you know, be more like a little bit of sometimes, you know, these countries aren't going to have heart surgeons hardly at all without that. Trauma surgery, though, you go to war zones and there's tons of injuries. I mean, there's a certain country in the Near East right now where there's a lot of people who could use medical care. Um, let's see. Oh, Bolivia's got a tiny population. Oh, not that tiny. Caribbean, where else can wipe out? Nope, definitely not. Central America, nope. Uh, Libya. Oh, Libya's not a huge population actually. 7 million. Doesn't have much research though. Doesn't have any ports, supposedly, which is not really true. But whatever. Almost every country in the world that's got a coastline pretty much has ports. Just some are more important, large than others. Maybe their ports large enough for cruise ships to visit or something. Since for cargo freighters, they don't want many people spread a virus. Yeah, probably shouldn't do any more layers. Got more than enough to very quickly spread the virus around the shadow plague to finish off the more populous countries. And, take forever to have the vampire just do it himself. What am I doing for time? 14-ish minutes. Check. No chat. Not even stupid bots trying to sell stuff. All right. So, um, yeah, had to come to terms with the fact that even though it's not inevitable, it doesn't have to be this way because the government doesn't care about people like me. There's U.S. government and it runs a global empire, so it sucks so much wealth out of the rest of the world that not many other countries can afford to do medical research in the scale the United States can.